remember when Siren used to be a very simple warframe. You would walk into a room, everything would die, then you'd walk into the next room, everything would die again, and that process would just repeat for infinitum. But after she got her rework, I think we should take a look at the new Siren. Now, why I like Siren is because she's a caster frame, but not just any caster frame. She's what I would put as a warlock, because warlocks mainly go for damage over time effects, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing a lot of here. Damage over time. Toxin procs, slash procs, blast procs, all these kind of things. And which, speaking of toxin procs, her first ability is called Spores, where she infects all of the enemies that are in target range with spores. Now, I don't know if very many people know this, but if you have a Spectre or a Sentinel like Death Cube up here, he will shoot at the spores. Just so I can show you what they look like, I'm going to use this guy. I don't have any energy. But it will create boils, essentially, like little boils around the enemy's skin. And if you have a Spectre or Death Cube, they will shoot at the spores, popping them, and that does, I think, 100 damage per spore. And will also, even if it's attached to the enemy, it will still do damage to its surrounding allies. Not Tennos, I'm talking about the NPCs. The NPCs will do damage to each other if affected by spores, and you pop the spores. But let me put down some more of these. Now, let's see here. That should be good. Now, her second ability is called Mold, where if she has any procs on her, like blast procs, toxin procs, if she's affected with fire, like if she's burning, she will basically shed her skin and leave behind a clone of herself, which you can actually infect with spores, and enemies will attack your skin, and you can pop them. Actually, let me use this. You can actually pop the spores on your dead flesh, and the enemies will get damaged by that. So, and it will spread all the way around to other enemies, and I really enjoy that mechanic a lot, because if you're just in a herd of enemies, you can throw down one of these, throw down a couple spores, and then once they're covered in enemies, you see, they just explode. So, it's definitely a lot of fun. Now, this is where she gets a little bit weird. I don't quite really enjoy this proc. I guess this helps out more of your teammates than it does you yourself, which is understandable considering she's a caster frame. She does damage over time, so of course you're going to need something that does a lot of damage all at once, like a Rhino or maybe Nezha, maybe even an Oberon or a Necros. But regardless, now, this is the giant. Okay. This one affects only your melee weapon. Any melee weapon you have will do toxin damage and will infect them with a toxin proc. It's called Toxic Lash. Toxic Lash, if you can see here, it will light them green, which means they take toxin damage. And that's especially good on high level enemies, because if you're in with a team, and they're all like shooting, the damage will stack actually, by the way. This, just so you know, if there's two Sirens and both of you are using Toxic Lash, the damage will stack if both of you hit the same enemy. Now, there is a duration, so you might want to have to keep doing this, but if you're on a team, it will do so much damage. And you can pretty much try every single combination with all of your abilities. Like, all of your abilities will have some sort of I think all of your abilities should have some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Counterfeit with each other. So, for instance, you can use combos with all of your abilities. Like, you can throw down this, you can use Toxic Lash, and then you can shoot the spores, you can hit the spores, which will do all the damage at once, and now they're all dead. Okay. So, overall, she's definitely a frame you're going to want. So, I didn't really like Siren at first, just because she was like a little, she was just kind of meh. But now that I've given her a second chance, and now that she's gotten a rework, I really kind of like her. Oh, fat boy, okay. Now, her fourth ability, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if I'm just a derp and I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't think her fourth ability actually does anything besides just straight up damage. Like a and then the people that survive it, I think, are dealt with toxin damage or a blast proc or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but please comment down below if you know what her fourth ability is supposed to do, because I really don't know. I've used it on high level enemies, I've used it on low level enemies, I've used it on mid level enemies, I've used it on the Stalker, I've used it on Zanuka, I've used it on pretty much everything that there is, and it all does the same thing to me. It just does flat up damage. I don't know if I'm just missing something, but please comment down below if you know what's going on. And I'm sorry if this video is a little bit boring, or I might be stuttering a lot. I just had a really rough day today, and I'm exhausted. So, I think I'm going to end this video right here. If you guys have enjoyed, please leave a like, please comment, and please subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.